Another feature that I would like to talk about is called license limits. So let me show you what we can do with it. So let's click on the San Carlos group, for example. And we can see right away that there's a tab called license limits. So if we click on that, we get a list of all the available licenses in NoTouch Center. So those are licenses that our endpoints support to provide a certain feature, like for example, the disk encryption. So to give you an example, let's say that I want all clients in this group to support the disk encryption actually. So what we will do is we'll go to licenses, and we see that no licenses are added here, and we can add the disk encryption license. So if we have that here, we know that all of our clients in the group should include this license right now. So we go and check this x86 client, and it has it. Now let's, for example, click on this Raspberry Pi and check. It doesn't have the disk encryption license. So let's move it to the group San Carlos. It received the license right away, as you can see. Right. Let's move it back to San Francisco office. And of course, clients in this group don't include this license, so it doesn't have it anymore. The clients in the San Francisco office only have the LMD. But let's now go back to San Carlos. Let's go to license limits. And I know that one of my clients already has this disk encryption license because we assigned it before. And now I want to make sure that only this client will get this license, right? So let's let me check again this client, right? Okay, this Raspberry Pi doesn't have the disk encryption license. Let me click back here. Okay, let's assign a limit to the disk encryption license. I want to make sure that only one client in this group has a disk encryption license. So I assign a limit of 1, right? Let's now take this Raspberry Pi as we did before, and let's move it to San Carlos group. And as you might anticipate, this client didn't receive the disk encryption license because it shouldn't. However, this client still has it, of course. Now let's think about another scenario. Let's think that let's move this client back to the San Francisco office group, and let's add the disk encryption license to this client as well. Now we know that there's a limit of 1, and let's try to move this client to the San Carlos group. If we try, it will be denied because we have the license limit set, and it will not be allowed to move more clients with this kind of license to this group unless we clear the limit. That's the essence of this functionality that will help to provide more control over what kind of licenses the clients in a particular group have. So the license limit, they are not inherited. For example, if I set a limit of, we have a limit of 5 for the cloud gateway in my devices, the San Carlos will not have the same limits. Of course, because San Carlos is in my devices, by default, there cannot be more than 5 devices with the cloud gateway in this group. But we could set a license of, for example, 10. And if I now take this group and move to the test lab, we can now add 10 devices with the Cloud Gateway license. And to check if there are any limits set on the upper level, we can just click this icon right here that I'm showing you on the right side, and it will tell you the whole path to this particular group if there are any license set. And as you can see, there's no limit on the test lab, but if I move it back here and click again, it will tell you my devices has a limit of 5 and San Francisco office has no limit.